All right.
Good.
Hi, folks. We are here with Simon Hough of Big Country and his own band, Simon Hough Band, as well. Um, we're going to have a conversation about the music business and about some of the things he's learned, and will share with us about what he has been doing with Big Country and with his other project as well. Masters Radio is building a music experience company, or community, I should say, focused on the artists like you, Simon, who were first popular more than 20 years ago. We've learned to fill some gaps in that experience for both the artists and their fans, and things like corporate benefits and a mission that it's all about the artists. Combined with real opportunities for real-time engagement with these artists in the not-too-distant future, so that fans and their artists can get together in real time. One of the things we do, as I said, our first corporate value is it's all about the artists. We like to ask artists, in a perfect world with a perfect music community where you could engage with your fans, what would you like to see?
I mean, the thing is, the music industry with the lockdown, which we had a couple of years ago, it was had a massive effect. There's a lot of live venues in the UK which are not quite hitting the mark now. I don't know what it is, but what we need is a lot of new up and coming bands and a lot more live venues to show these bands, the way forward, because that's the deal at the moment. There isn't enough live stuff going on. So, anything that we can do to get the live scene back on track again, it's got to be the way forward. We're missing a lot. I mean, for me, guitar bands, we need more guitar bands in the industry. And, live music is the key, really. We've got to keep it live, and we've got to keep the venues open and get people supporting the live bands again.
I would agree. It's you're old enough, as am I, to remember when live touring was sort of what you did to give back to the fans who bought your album.
Yeah,
Now,
completely.
of course, nobody's buying albums, so the only way you make your money is to go out and make it on the tour. And some do okay, few do okay, but many of them, it's a struggle.
It is a struggle. I mean, luckily, our merch is great.
Yeah.
We sell a lot of merch on the gigs. That's the deal. Nobody buys CDs anymore. It's all
No.
downloads and stuff. But
Yeah.
it's a shame, but that's the way it is. So if you're going to sell anything, or if you've got a product, it's got to be on the merch. That's the only way to get rid of it now, or download it. It's the way forward, I suppose. But the days are gone of buying CDs. But in saying that, there's a big resurge in the vinyl market again now. It's a bit of a collector's thing, and it's a nice tactile thing to have. A vinyl copy of the album, or indeed the singles, and that's what Sandy and I are going to be doing next year.
You're going to vinyl. Good.
We're going to do vinyl, yeah. Something a little bit different. And it's something for the fans to take away, both Big Country fans and Sandy Tom fans,
Of course.
So I think that's a good thing. If we can get people listening to vinyl again, which I know it's kind of gone out of fashion now, but it is kind of a trend thing, isn't it? I think people want something tactile, and there's nothing quite like putting that needle on a vinyl record and listening to it. I think anyway.
It's funny in that I come from my family was involved in audio early on. My father was very big in bringing things like Dolby to the U.S. I mean, that long ago, and I've watched as the quality. Albums weren't great for recording music. They were really good to distribute music, but the quality wasn't good, and we learned that in CDs. The dynamic range was huge, the spectrum was huge, but then streaming came along, crushed everything down to a wee version of what we had.
I know.
And got us all reconditioned to hearing kind of lower fidelity music. So now the albums are back, and it sounds okay.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, a lot of the stuff is remastered, and it's it sounds great. I mean, I've heard a lot of the new vinyl stuff, and it's so good. Like I said earlier, there's nothing quite like picking up that sleeve, pulling out that vinyl, and putting it on the deck. It's a special feeling, that I think.
And the liner notes.
Yeah, it is. I mean, CDs, they were great when they came out. Everybody, the quality was superb, but it's had its day now. Nobody's doing it anymore. So, you know, I don't know what you've got to move forward with the times, I guess. But downloading is the way forward. Everybody's doing it. It's not great returns for the artists, I don't think, you know. But you know, what do? You've got to keep up with the times and move forward.
Well, it's one of the things we're trying to do, change in that model. For example, our program provides 60% of the revenue to artists.
Yeah,
that's point
well,
zero 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 six 60, because it's all about the artists.
Yes, as it should be. Yeah,
as it should be. Yeah. So you know, we're great believers in that. Rob and I, Rob's the founder, and you know, one of the things that if we just latched on to, interesting enough, a London-based company is trying to find artists that they can fund U.S. tours for. And I said, please, please come our way, because we have so many of these masters who were, you know, first popular 20 years ago and maybe aren't getting the attention that they really deserve, even though they're making new music day after day. They really couldn't afford it any other way but to do this or have their fans pay for it. Every artist at Masters Radio has a crowdfunding page, effectively. And so they can have their fans pay for a tour, pay for new gear, pay for an album, what have you. Because that's one of the nice things about what the internet has done to the music business, as opposed to one of the terrible things, which is remove all of your income.
I know.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to being able to leverage that. And, you know, it takes having people who know good talent, and more to the point, know all the other artists in the realm. That they've either worked with them or they know them because they've been doing it for 40 years. So it makes perfect sense to approach this group.
It's great. It's a great idea, and it works. You know, it does work. All that. I mean, we're actually coming over. We're Big Country are coming over to the States in July. We have a tour.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah, which will be nice. And we've also got a tour of. We're doing Australia in December, the USA in July, and a UK tour for the Steel Town tour, which starts in February, March next year, with I don't know whether you remember a band called the Icicle Works. Do you remember those guys?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
We're touring. We're touring with those. They're on support with us, and we're doing we're doing the O2 in London. We've got some big venues coming up, like, you know. So that's good. That's going to be good. So next year is pretty full on for us. But getting back to what Sandy and I are doing,
please.
Sandy kind of she's done a couple of festivals with Big Country and so on. So we kind of got together on a festival, I guess, and just chatted about a collaboration down the line. And then Sandy approached me last January, February time. Would I do a duet with her with one of the songs which she loves, which was Broken Heart, in brackets 13 Valleys. And I said, yeah, let's go for it. So we met and recorded at a castle in Scotland. And you know what it was? It was like we completely reconstructed the song.
Yes.
Did it completely different? Well, yeah, I don't know whether, have you heard it? Did you hear that?
I have. I've heard it, and of course, I may have mentioned to you that I listened back to Stuart Adamson's version of it as well.
Yes.
And it's great to hear both, and yours is just such a really wonderful treatment of it. I was curious that, you know, how you arrived at doing that song and what your plans were.
Well, Sandy can probably explain that a little better than I. It was a song she particularly wanted to do. She had that song in mind, and that's how it came about. And she said, I want to record Broken Heart / 13 Valleys. So I said, yeah, we can do that. You know, there's lots of back catalogue stuff in the Big Country set, but this particular song she had in mind. And you know, the thing is, Adam, I arrived at the castle where we recorded it. Beautiful place. And I wasn't quite sure where we were going to go with it. We'd never sang together before.
Oh.
We'd never actually been on stage as a unit, the two of us. So it was a little bit, well, let's see how it goes. I know she has a fabulous voice, and we've both seen each other work independently. But she just wanted this particular song recorded with myself. None of the band, just the piano or guitar and so on. So that's what happened. We went up and we met, and she had a film crew in there with the recording guys, and she said, let's record it and film it. So we worked on the structure of the song completely, took it apart. And Sandy came up with that arrangement on the piano.
Mhm.
And do you know what it is? The whole thing was done in 3 takes.
Yeah, very good.
3 takes. We sang together, and it was like, wow, the voices and the crew and everybody in that room were literally, they were in tears, man. They
It's
couldn't
a
believe
beautiful song.
it was like just a pretty emotional moment for everybody. And so it kind of went on from, and then it was left. It was like kind of, it was put to bed for a while, um, to see where we go from it, where we're going to go with it now, as it were.
Mhm.
Sandy went down to Australia to promote her new single, or a revamp of her single, and I
Mhm.
carried on with the tour. And then we, I don't know, it must have been 2 months ago, Sandy called me and says, I'm going to put the video out to see what the reaction is.
Mhm.
Oh my word, it
Yeah.
went mad. Within 32,000 views within a few days. It was just, people were just loving it. So we
Mhm.
thought, well, we need to do something more with this. And that's basically where we're at now. There's been a lot of response to it, saying we want to see this we want to see you two on stage doing
Mhm.
what you're doing with. So we decided between us that we'd go on tour, do a little tour, and do
Good.
some shows, whereby Sandy will be on the piano, I'll be on guitar, and she'll join me on guitar, and we're going to strip back some big country stuff and
Good.
some of her stuff, and play some original stuff as well. And so that's where we're up to now. We're kind of just trying to fit in some dates in between our busy schedules to fit some nice venues in. One of them being the Pizza Express in London, which is a revered venue, for artists,
Mhm.
solo artists, and people, that kind of. Have you heard of that venue or not?
I've not heard of that venue, no, but I know the type you mean. Yeah.
But it's a really nice place. It's like
Mhm.
a little, almost like a little Ronnie Scott's underneath
Mhm.
the
Okay.
and it's all set out with tables and candles and a lovely stage. They have a grand piano in there.
Mhm.
So that's one of the gigs we'll be doing, and there'll be a lot more. It's just a case of time is the
Yes.
problem, right? Because being busy, Sandy's busy, but we're gonna nail this, and we're gonna take it as far as we can. It'd be nice to even come over. What I was discussing with Mark Brzezicki, the drummer from BC today,
Mhm.
when we actually come over in July, it'd be nice for us to continue and Sandy fly out and maybe do some shows with Mark
Sure.
even. So that'd work, that kind of thing. So you never know.
Absolutely.
You may be seeing us on your side of the phone,
I
does it?
certainly hope so. Yeah, if you're coming anywhere near Washington D.C., we will definitely come by, particularly with Icicle Works as well. There are other masters as well, with us. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
um, yep, yeah, yeah. I saw that thing was wonderful. Then she just dropped another one with Steve Balsamo doing a kind of obscure Deep Purple song that's really really good, and like she did with the 13 Valleys, changed the song a great deal. Um,
Yes, it does. Well, it
and
gives it, it
yes,
gives
that's
it a,
French.
it gives it a new dynamic, doesn't it?
It really
It's a
does.
complete
And
different feel. I mean, we
yeah,
actually
and
play that song in the set. We
oh, do
actually
you?
do that
Good.
song,
Yeah, very
and
good. Yeah, because it's
yeah,
brilliant.
it's a great tune. I mean, we all know Stuart was an awesome songwriter. And
Yes.
it's nice to pay homage to him in that way. I think which whereby, yeah, it's not the big country version, but
Right.
it kind of lends itself to all the little things Stuart had in his songwriting, I think. And
Yep.
it's lyrically and both musically, it works with that particular song to do it that way.
It,
And that's
it,
what we're going to
it,
do with some of the other stuff too, hopefully.
good. Good. Yeah. I mean, he left us far too soon. You can only imagine, what kind of music he might have contributed, had he been
Yeah,
able to move forward, even just as a songwriter, whether he stayed in the band or not, but as the same as Sandy's got great songwriting credits as well, she's just,
yeah, completely.
you guys really have it.
Well, yeah, of course we're going to collaborate on songwriting. We're going to put some stuff together ourselves, which would be nice. So there's a lot going on, really, with it. It's just the interest. people are having in it, it makes sense to do something with it. You know, we've got a lot of big country fans who, you know, I mean, I've been in big country for I'm in my 12th year now, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So you know, I am kind of they've kind of accepted me at last. You know,
Right.
well, the fans, they are
Sassenachs or not, right? Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, they
Yeah.
are, and they are pretty anal fans. You know, and
Yeah.
it's taken a lot to get them on my side. You know, I mean, there's always the hardcore fans. It's not the same without Stuart, but what can one do? What can you do at the end of the day?
Right. Right.
You know, Stuart isn't with us anymore, which is sad. We know that. But if you want the band to continue, you've got to get another singer in there.
Yeah.
And you know, so that's the way that's gone. But and it's working okay now. So when I branch out and do other things, they tend to, you know, they're interested in what I'm doing, which is great. So the Sandy Tom thing and myself, it's we're hitting the ground running, as it were. You know what I mean?
Yep, I do indeed. Yeah, and I've heard this before. Our first interview was with Lawrence Gowan of Styx, who replaced Dennis DeYoung.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, you know, it's again singer, you know, different singer. People say, he's not the same as Dennis DeYoung. Dennis DeYoung says he's not the same as Dennis DeYoung, but that's okay because he says, listen, Lawrence Gowan is good for the band, and it's the same thing here. You're going to bring a different perspective, you know, and it's a different sound, and that's okay. That's how we evolve, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, you say that. I mean, but when I actually went for the audition, one of the things which was very apparent was the fact that Stuart and I had the same voice range.
Right.
And it's quite uncanny. Yeah. Some of the fans are actually saying, my God, he said, even last night I was getting people coming up and saying, we closed our eyes. We just thought we thought it was Stuart. He said, it's just so uncanny. Now, it isn't something I'm consciously doing.
Right.
But the voice ranges are very similar. So it does kind of work, you know.
Well, sure. I mean, you're an instrument, you know, and so you're going to pick an instrument that fits with the band. And say Gowan and DeYoung were kind of similar. Arnel Pineda and Steve Perry, kind of similar range-wise. Timbre and tone, whole different thing, different personalities. But yeah, you can close your eyes and imagine it's that sound. There's a certain sound to Big Country, and you fulfill it. Yeah.
Well, that's good. So yeah. So that's where we're up to, basically, Adam. Anyway, now, so we need to forge on with this collaboration with Sandy and myself, and we're going to get into rehearsals early next year, get a set together, and hopefully record some more songs, some originals to get it out on vinyl, and then do some nice shows supporting the single, as it were, kind of thing.
Very good, very good. Now tell me about your band, Simon Hough Band.
Yeah, well, there again, we're back to that. It's the time issue. I have been doing some gigs with the band, but to be perfectly honest, I mean, the last album, The Tramp, which did okay over there with your on your show, I think it got, I don't know where it got to, somewhere in the 20s, I think, you know, with the playlist or something. But it's finding time. I mean, I've got a great set of guys I can call upon anytime. And whenever we can get time, we go out and do some original stuff, some of my stuff. And that's basically where we're up to with that at the moment. I'm using the bass player from the Animals, Norm Hell, and I'll use the keyboard player from Liam Gallagher's band, Christian Madden. And he's like the top Hammond player. He's absolutely awesome. And I've been using the drummer from Wishbone Ash, Joseph Crabtree.
Wow.
So we've got a pretty extensive lineup, and along with a guy called Ken Nicol from Steel Eye Span, who's like, he's just the top acoustic guitar player I've ever seen. He's off the scale.
Steel Eye, Wishbone, man, you've got the UK folk thing right there wrapped up in your list.
We've got it nailed, Adam, as far as that goes.
You do indeed.
You know, I mean, as far as the lineup goes, it doesn't come better with as far as credibility goes. You know, it's a fantastic. So I mean, like I said, it's a time thing. It's just getting everything. Do you know what it is? I have so many projects on, and people wanting to do stuff with me. It's like, oh my God, how am I going to fit it all in? I'm also doing a project paying homage to Gary Brooker, who died a couple of years ago.
That's right. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it started out as a little bit of a fun thing because I do like Procol Harum. I like the proggy stuff, that's particularly. So we put a little band together using the same guys, and they picked up on it in Europe, and we've got a little tour going on out in Europe, which starts in April, doing some Procol Harum stuff in theatres, just paying homage to Gary Brooker and the band. You know what I mean? So that's happening as well, which is like, well, hopefully I'm going to get enough time to do all this stuff, but that's where we're at with it, really. And it's the same band I'll use for my own band as well, which is very handy because we can put some original stuff in as well, you see.
Yep, very good. And I like the fact that you're doing the stripped down thing. I heard the Doobie Brothers song that you like. I know you're a big fan of the Doobies, as am I.
Absolutely. The Doobie Brothers, I was brought up on the Doobie Brothers, in my teens. It was all I listened to. That's where I got my, I guess, my style of playing and singing from. Mm-hmm. And the Eagles as well, all that harmony thing. It was a big part of my life, all that. It's where I'm at now with it, really. I'm still big on harmonies. In saying that, BC is not really a harmony band, but it does have its place in there. I'm trying to bring a few of the harmonies in. It's slowly, and we're getting there. There's nothing wrong with that, it throws another light on it, I guess. You know what I mean, for some of the songs. But yeah, the Doobies and Tom Petty and all that. That's my thing, really. All that, and my music kind of portrays that image, I guess, a little bit. It's a cross between Doobie Brothers, Tom Petty, the Eagles, Paul Carrack, another great artist, and all these guys. So that's, you put that into the bowl, mix it up, and I guess you come out with what I'm doing now with my own band, which is it's all good stuff, and it's it kind of keeps me sane. It keeps me going. You do need other things as well. Well, I do anyway. I can't just I have to have other outlets, as it were, to keep me going. And like I said, getting back to Sandy and I, this is going to be the thing for next year for us, I think. So hopefully we can move forward with that, and you never know, we may even get over to your neck of the woods, which would be fantastic.
I certainly hope so. Yeah.
Are you actually playing the track on over there, Adam? Is it going out over there?
We got the recording. We're going to post it along with this interview, starting this coming week. Yep, and we're going to be promoting it. We have 80 to 100 million reach, so a lot of people are going to be seeing this. And as you said, on YouTube,
that's going to be great. This is what we need. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Just getting new stuff out there. But I think, with the interest, especially with the band coming over in July, Big Country, it kind of ties it all in. And like I say, Mark, the drummer, he suggested, why don't we stay on and maybe do some little gigs, some nice little gigs out there, which that may happen. That'd be great if we can get all that to happen,
We'll be happy to set you up in the DC area if you come out this way. You can find some nice intimate places for play. Yeah,
we'll do it. Let's do it. Let's get it nailed, and continue with it after we finish the tour. We may as well, while we're out there, just fly Sandy out. Boom, we're in.
Yep. I think it'd be a huge hit because it's just that the sound is just magnificent, and it's enough of a contrast. It will get different people than your BC fans, as you put it, and yet a lot of them will come on board because it's just great music, and they like great music, whether it's from Big Country or others.
I'm absolutely certain they will. It is kind of doing the BC stuff like that, especially stripped back on piano and guitar, and just two vocalists. It is kind of saying what a great songwriter Stuart Adamson was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's paying homage to him. And alongside that, it's another slant on Sandy's stuff.
Yes.
She had a #1 hit with the punk rocker song, and she did great with that. You know what I mean? She's a multi-talented musician. She does the piano, guitar, she plays the harp. She's absolutely off the scale, but her voice is something special. She's got that little bit of something extra, which I kind of picked up on I first saw Sandy. We were doing, I think it was a Rewind festival in the UK.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And we were on the main stage. And before we went on, I went and checked her out because the same management I was using put her into that festival.
Ah, okay.
And she had a great crowd in front of her. Man, she rocked it. She really rocked it, and she's great with the audience.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really where it came from. I thought, our voices would, when you hear something,
Yes.
and I thought that voice there, along with mine, would be great. And you know what it is? It's difficult to find female and a male voice which gels. It's not the easiest thing in the world,
Yep. Yep.
But it happened just like that. And like I say,
Ask Robert Plant and Alison Krauss. Yeah.
Yes, completely.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yep.
It's it was like a Sonny and Cher moment kind of thing, Which,
right.
well, the guy who owns the castle where we were, like I said to you earlier, when we was recording it live, Sandy was just playing the grand piano, and wow, when they heard it, it was like, wow, this is amazing, and it just worked. So that's where we're at with, like I said earlier. Hopefully, it's a shame she couldn't make. I wish she would have been on it because we could have chatted together about it. But there's obviously something.
We'll connect with her because in researching for this interview, I learned so much more about her than I knew from just the one song that,
yes.
We really didn't get a chance to see her that much in the United States, but we had the one song that was out there, and, and to look at what she's done now. I mean, she did a great cover of Hallelujah. It's my wife's favorite song.
That's right.
The Deep Purple song, Soldier of Fortune, which frankly is better than Candace Knight does it in Blackmore's current band. But she makes a song her own, whether it's hers or not, and she writes some great stuff herself. Yeah,
no, she does indeed, and it's quite impressive, the way she does things, and so I can't wait to get stuck into that. January is when we've got time off with Big Country. We finish. We're doing the Hogmanay show in Scotland, two nights, New Year's Eve and the night before New Year's Eve, and then we've got some time off before the tour starts in February. So the whole of January, hopefully, we're going to get together and really get stuck into what we're doing, and take it out on the road maybe and try and get this single released. It's all good stuff as far as I'm concerned, and I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into that really next year.
It certainly sounds like I'll be looking forward to it. So I'm going to stay in touch with you so that in January we can see that stuff comes
absolutely. In. Please do. And if you can give us a push along the way with playing it, that'd be great too.
No question.
Fantastic.
Yep. So, well, thank you so much. We have been speaking with Simon Hough of Big Country, and with his collaboration with Sandy Tom, which is magnificent. You can hear it right here on Masters Radio. And we're looking forward to some really amazing things from both Big Country and Sandy and Simon in the months to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You bet.
Okay. Thank you. Take care. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.